Good morning, you badass motherfuckers. It's the All on Me, the morning smoke show. Get back on this motherfucker. We cleansing the air with that sage this morning, man. Saging it up, cleansing the air. Good morning, you motherfuckers. I hope you do well. I hope everybody's getting ready for it. Here it comes. Christmas. Look, I ain't got my little Christmas lights on this morning. I'm feeling festive. Thank goodness for Amazon. Thank goodness for Amazon in this day and age. Goodness gracious, man. You guys remember the old days where we used to have to run around, especially those last minute shoppers? You can't be really too last minute with Amazon. But in the old days, man, the last minute shoppers, man, running to the stores, trying to get a little something. Because, you got to have a gift for every single person, right? Everybody's got to have a gift. So you run around, last minute shoppers. But I'm grateful for Amazon today. Amazon is coming through, man. They coming through. Bringing all them gifts. All I got to do is just throw the rap job. I'm a terrible rapper, right? So if anybody's got any pointers for rapping, all types. I'm not the best of rappers. I'm usually pretty rough. But what I am good at is talking all that shit, talking that real life shit, because I'm here to do what? Inspire you motherfuckers to turn your fucking lives around. Turn your life around. It's not easy. It is not easy, especially if you think you're headed in the right direction, or you keep telling yourself this is what as good as it gets, right? But you really know going in the whole other direction would be an incredible journey, an incredible challenge. I was just reflecting and writing somebody this morning about this year, 22. It's been an incredibly challenging year, right? 2022 has been incredibly challenging, right? Anybody else had a very challenging year? But here's the difference. It hasn't been a challenging year where it's kicked my ass up and down the fucking block. It's been a challenging year in all different ways, right? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically challenging. But I've risen to the challenge each and every day. And thus, I've had an equal amount of what? Growth, healing, and expansion, right? Into a better version of myself. Because that's what I set out to do each and every day, right? And I put that shit out there, right? Results kill excuses. We're going to be launching the Results Kill Excuses brand here in 23. It's going to be a fucking beautiful thing, right? Because guess what? The time is now, motherfuckers. The time is now. It's time to quit making them fucking excuses, right? It's time to realize how many excuses you do make, right? And how them excuses are holding you back from your true desires, your true dreams, your true goals, your true potential, right? We all know that there's something in us. Very, very, very few fucking humans on this planet are living life to their fullest potential. That's why I know I have a real audience here, because I have this message, and this message is very focused on what? Challenging motherfuckers, right? To challenge themselves to grow each and every day, right? To become the best version of yourself and to truly, right, get to your best, highest potential, right? And your highest potential is, isn't 20 years ago, isn't 50 years ago, right? Or any amount of years ago, right? The greatest potential you have right now is right now, right? Because right now you have the potential to change up your thoughts, change up your habits, especially the bad ones, right? Change up your whole way of being, right? How you interact with people, right? How you receive people, how you treat people, how you treat yourself, right? Many of us abuse ourselves, right? By going back to our vices, overindulging, right? Food is a nasty one, right? Food is a nasty one that we don't like to admit in this day and age, right? How we abuse our bodies, right? By what we put down our fucking throat. It's terrible. And I know there's a lot of people that are trying to switch up because, God, man, it sucks feeling like shit. And I've been there. I have felt like shit like this, right? Which was overindulgence in alcohol, right? Leading to a depressed man, a broken fucking man. And guess what they say? Hurting people hurt people, right? And what else I know, right, is that too many of us overindulge in what we eat, right? And we know it's not good for us. We're totally off kilter when we think about how much we need to eat, the size of what we need to eat. Well, I ordered the small steak, but I got the French fries, the baked potato. I did get veggies, right? But the veggies are blasted in butter, right? I got some rice, but the rice is blasted in butter too. So it's just, but it's a plate this big. It's huge, right? The plate is fucking huge. And yet we're overdoing it in calories, right? 2000. That's, daily value. But even that is a little high for a lot of people. Most people, who knows? I got to look it up. I will look it up. Most people are probably hitting like 3,500 calories a day. And you can't lose weight by that, right? Unless you're like an extreme professional athlete, that's what you do. And, I got a few athletes on here, but I don't got these extreme athletes that can burn through 10,000 calories a day and not gain weight, just put on muscle and mass and fucking keep going. Most people, liquid carbs are killing you, right? All the saturated stuff is killing you. And we hide it, right? It's guilt. It's an inner guilt. It's an emotional inner guilt that we carry around. And again, it's dimming our light. It's holding us back from reaching our highest potential. And so I've been putting that out there. It just came from the universe. Results kill excuses. It's very fucking clear. A lot of you guys like that. We're turning that into a brand in 23, right? Website and all. I'm going to be doing the journal, right? I'm going to do a journal, write that shit down to try and guide some of you, right, that truly do want to shift up. I can tell you, the proof is in the pudding, man. The proof is in the pudding. How much I have changed this year in really just a short amount of time. And yet, guess what? We have to learn how to ride those waves, because even this week, man, I've been feeling like major emotional just waves, highs and lows, emotionally speaking. And I've wiped out a few times this week, meaning I've had a breakdown. I've had a few breakdowns, just emotional, just letting it out, man, breaking down, crying, right? There's been a lot of loss this year. There's been a lot of challenges this year. Yes, there's been success. There's been victory. There's been wins. And I get wins each and every day, you guys. That's a part of the journaling process. Some of us, it's like the only win we really want in life is the lotto. Or we want our fucking football team to win the Super Bowl, right? Or to win this game this weekend. And it's like we put all our hope in that. And when that shit don't happen, fuck, you don't think that messes with you? When you have an emotional attachment to a sports organization, right? You're putting all that attention, all that energy, right? It says energy goes where focus flows. Where focus goes, energy flows. So you're putting your focus on my team, my team, my team. And then they come up short. You don't think that messes with you? Like if you have lost. That's the thing. That's why I get so fucking crazy about the teams and my team and all that shit, is because you are investing emotionally, right? Which is such a critical piece of who you are, into something you have zero control over. It's just rooting for something. It's hoping for something that you have zero fucking control over. And yet we do it. Same thing is true in politics. How many of us just, it's all about politics. We put our hopes in these people, and guess what? They're no different than you and I, right? If you woke up with doubt and fear and feeling insecure and feeling, nervous and anxious and unprepared about shit, guess what? These people fucking wake up the same way. Yeah, they got more responsibility. That's just more pressure. And if they're not doing the self-care, guess what? They're not going to be their best when they show up each and every day. And that's why I put emphasis on self-care. I put emphasis on this that goes across the board every day I get on here, which is what? It's the 5 principles for keeping your cup full, right? Mindfulness, fitness, exercise, right? Nutrition, personal development, and then making a difference in this world. So it's not just a selfish, it's all about me. Most of you that get turned off by this message, you are hearing, it's all about me. When it's all on me. Like, have you ever just been a part of something, or even just on your own, where you're sitting there, right? And it's like, you got something to do. It's your responsibility. It's your task. It's your job, whether it's something you're being paid for, or whether it's just at your house needing to clean your room, or fucking do the dishes, or put up the Christmas tree. It's your responsibility, right? We practice it every day in little doses. Like, what about just feeding yourself, right? No, like, if you're over the age of 18, let's go at least start there. You're responsible for feeding yourself. Thus, you're also responsible for those choices. Thus, you are also responsible for the body and the fitness and the health that you walk around with in this world. So it's not all about me. It's all on me, meaning it is the total acceptance of responsibility for your life. And I know I fucking stir people up, man, about the whole God thing. But even God, right? I'll sit and talk about that for a second. I've been in some very fucking tough spots in life. And I have a faith in God. I believe in God. There is a creator. There's God. There's I am. There's something there. But I also believe in free will, to where I know there's times where I've asked for God for the strength, right? To carry on, to push forward, to overcome. But God didn't move my legs, other than he gave me the legs. It was my will that was the desire that I had to do something. I had to do something, right? Whether I want to give God credit for the fact that he gave me the legs and gave me the mind and the body and the vision and the willpower to like push past it, that's fine. But y'all just get tripped up because you're codependent with God, where you know that you're holding yourself back. And you know that you're settling for a lesser version than your best. Which you also know, if you're a very faithful, religious type, is that you have a lot of guilt about that. You feel like shit. Because even God wants you to be the best version of yourself. God doesn't want you fat and nasty. God doesn't want you complacent. God doesn't want you cheating at work, right? God doesn't want you not participating fully in your relationship, right? A true partnership of truly helping out with the chores and the responsibilities of maintaining a household, right? God doesn't want that, right? That's not your best self. Your best self is giving 100% in everything you do, or at least giving your best, right? If 100, we always say, oh, give 150, right? Remember 110, right? But what if you just give your best, and you know when you're giving your best and when you're not? You know when you could actually not get home, when you could get home and not just post up on the couch and watch the fucking tube for 5 hours. Instead, you could actually do some research, listen to a book, enroll in college courses, clean up your fucking house, help your spouse with chores, right? But you don't. And yet what? You're still a person of faith? Great. But you know what they say, right? Right? Faith without works is dead. And yet there's a balance, right? Some say they got works and some say they got faith. I believe in the balance. I have both. I think you have to have the results, motherfuckers. The results. And that only comes through works. What you're actually doing, right? Because if you're not doing your best, right, then you are obviously not honoring your creator, because he has created you to do your best each and every day in every way, right? And it sucks when we try and make all these excuses. When you're making them excuses, you know that's right. Your ego saying, let's just keep it the way it is. Because everything else beyond the way it is right now takes work. And I'm depressed and I'm anxious and I have some issues. I have some emotional issues, some psychological issues, some traumatic issues. And that's the deeper issue. And I've also touched on that a lot because, again, trauma's not in the Bible. And a process for healing trauma is not there either. And I have an issue with that. But that doesn't take away the fact that I do believe we have a creator. I do believe there's a supreme being, whether it's all of us collectively. I don't know. I don't know how to define it right now. But I do know that we are called, right, to be greater than who we were yesterday. And so on and so forth. So every single day you have life, right? And they say you're either getting worse or you're getting better. No one's staying the same because we're all in a state of decay. You are dying. Whether you are accelerating your death by abusing your body with your food, by neglecting your health, by neglecting the fitness required to keep your body moving, right? Whether you are neglecting your mental health, right, by not learning new things, continuing to challenge yourself each and every day, right? Whether you're neglecting your responsibility, right, to your family, to your community, to this world, right? We have a responsibility on this earth, and it's to make the biggest impact that we possibly can in a positive way. And I knew this message was going to wreck people. I knew that my message was going to be controversial. And the reason it is because there's so much truth in it. Sure, you want to argue it. Sure, you want to have your opinion about it. Sure, you want to hide from it and block me and unfollow me and delete me and mute me and silence me. But again, I continue to come with this message because this is the real life shit. This is what people really need to fucking grab a hold of, right? I'm tired of seeing human suffering in this world, right? But I'm not tired in the way that it wears me down. I am motivated, right, to speak life into the human suffering. And a massive, massive majority of the human suffering in this world is psychological suffering. It's not even real. It's psychological. It's our thoughts. We are suffering in our thoughts. And our thoughts are tied to our emotions. And our emotions are tied to what? Childhood trauma. 0 to 10 years old, the programming that you received as a child, right? In terms of your beliefs, right? What do you believe about life? What do you believe about death? What do you believe about nutrition? What do you believe about health and fitness? What do you believe about success? What do you believe about money, right? What do you believe about failure, right? What do you believe about skin colors? What do you believe about life after death, right? The universe, all of these things. What do you believe about being what it is to be a solid parent or a caregiver, right? What do you believe about forgiveness, right? What do you believe about love? What do you believe about relationships? All of this shit is programmed inside of us as children. Most of us did not grow up in healthy, secure environments. And just like a tree, right, can only thrive as much as the environment permits it, right? A tree that needs a lush, wet rainforest is not going to thrive in a fucking desert, right? And if you are called to be in a wet rainforest, lush, but you have yourself in a dry environment, you're not thriving, right? You are surviving at best, and you're not living your best life. You're not at your fullest potential. And the only way you're going to get to that is you got to switch up the environment. And the greatest environment that we have control over, right, isn't having to pull stakes and move across country. It's the environment right here in our fucking heads. It's the thoughts. It's the environment of your mind. And so many of us don't want to even face that fact. We want to just get the quick and easy. We want to just find something that gives us, someone gives us a little pep talk, right? Because we're feeling down, because we're feeling challenged by this message. So we go hit the fucking motivational speaker and they speak a little life in us. Guess what? That shit don't last. It doesn't last. Prove me fucking wrong, right? Because just like the ocean, right? It has cycles. Just like frequency, it has cycles, highs and lows. We're the same, right? You will have up emotional, you're going to have happy emotional experiences and lows, right? Highs and lows every single day. And you got to learn how to ride those emotional waves. Most of us get wiped out, especially when we come off of a high because someone gave us a little pep talk. Someone told us it's not all our fault. It's going to be okay. God's going to get you through it. Just hang in there. Have faith. Just wait another year, 5 more years. Don't worry. God will get you through it. Just keep your faith. Keep the faith. And yet what? You keep the same fucking life. Because if you've been keeping the faith and you can look back and ain't shit changed, right? There's a missing ingredient there, and it's called you. You got to do some work. There's something you're not doing, and it's time to do it. You have to put in the work. And I know that shit wrecks you guys, right? Because we want to just be like the Buddhist monk just sitting in the fucking mountains, right? Just waiting on the Lord, waiting. Just waiting. I'm just being patient. I'm learning patience. I'm waiting on God to do something in my life. And it's just like your life keeps getting shittier. Things aren't changing. Things that you could change aren't changing, but you're waiting for God to do something. And it's like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, man. It's not. Challenge me on it, right? Yes, you'll have a couple seasons where things get better. But do they really? If you really look back on your life, the game you've been playing, the system that you're doing, right? Is it really bringing about the transformation that you desire, right? And if it's something you desire, right, you have to put in work. It doesn't just happen. There's no magic tricks to changing up, right? It takes blood, sweat, and tears, commitment, dedication, right? Getting knocked down and getting the fuck back up. Perseverance, resilienceness, right? It doesn't just happen, man. You can't just sit there. Please tell me how you can sit there, right? And think about a new house, right? Think about paying your fucking bills and they're just going to get paid. Like, don't you have to go to work to get the check? Yeah, well, I got to go to work to get a check. Is the check good? Is the check good enough to pay the bills that you got right now? No. I'm fucking struggling. Okay, so then what could you do? I'm just gonna keep the faith. Shit's gonna change. How? How does it fucking change? You gotta change. That's the whole life experience. That's the beauty of this life, is that if you really start getting honest with yourself, looking in the mirror, right? And you realize that if money's an issue, well, honestly, you don't just say I need more money. That's usually not even the fucking solution to your money problems. Do you realize that? More money is usually not the solution to most people's money problems. It's your fucking relationship with money. And I talked about that just a moment ago. You have a relationship with money, meaning someone has programmed you as to what is money. What is your relationship with money? What does it mean to have a lot of money, right? Is there envy, right? Is there animosity about wealth? Because if there is, then you resist it. You resist the thing that you feel you need. But you also need to realize that if you're in massive amounts of debt, you're always overspending. And this is a great time to really analyze that. Most of you, if you've overspent, right? If you're using credit cards to buy Christmas gifts, hoping that you're going to pay it down in the future, there's probably a good chance, and be honest with yourself, that this time next year, credit card will probably be about the same, right? You're going to pay the minimums, right? Because you're not going to change your job. You're probably not going to get a huge raise. If inflation continues to kick in, right? Food prices continue to go up. You're just not going to realize more income. So then what the fuck are you going to do? Right? You going to play victim? You going to play helpless? You going to play that game? Like you can't switch up? That you can't add more value to your resume that makes you more valuable, so that if you could get a better job, right? Or you could start a side hustle, that would actually be a huge solution, right? And you could give God credit to that, but God really needs you to take the steps. He needs you to hear my message that says, hey, you need to do something because results kill them fucking excuses, right? And it's time to actually start putting in the work, right? You need to sign up for classes. You need to learn new skills, right? And there's a lot of skills you can learn through correspondence courses, through technical schools. Not everybody's got to go to Harvard, get a fucking degree from Harvard to make more money, right? It's incredible how much here at the Motel Project, we're paying plumbers, electricians, HVAC techs, right? Construction workers. I talked to a guy yesterday. He checked into the motel. He drove down here from South Dakota. He's going to go to a technical school to get an x-ray license. That's just starting at like 80 to 90K a year, right? I have an x-ray license. I never use it. I got it in the military. But again, I have a big bag of fucking tricks. I got a lot of like plan B, X, Y, Z, all the way down the list, because I've always tried to add value to my life, not excuses as to why I was stuck or why I couldn't get more. And some of you, again, the handout, right? God's provision is giving you the handouts from the government. No, it's not, right? It's not. He wants you to be independent. He wants you to be free. Right? Because when you are dependent, relying upon something as such, yeah, it's a provision. It's there, but it shouldn't be there indefinitely, right? You should be able to do what the founding fathers prescribed from the very beginning, right? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That liberty is a big thing. Freedom, right? Real freedom, right? And the ability to create is an incredible thing. For you to be able to see and find a passion inside of you, and then to monetize it in a way that you're not being greedy, you're sharing a gift, and the universe is going to honor that creativity inside of you that you are sharing, that you then can monetize. And even if it's just, even if it starts out humble, right? Small, that's okay. You don't have to make a fucking $1 million your first week of business. You get one sale, man. That's a pretty impressive thing, because they say, look, if you can get one person to believe in you and give you their time or their money, guess what? There's probably 1 million other motherfuckers out there. You just ain't met them yet. Same is true with this, right? I came on here. I said, man, if I can just touch one person's life, I've touched a fucking hell of a lot of lives, right? It's probably a balance, right? Because I've probably repelled an equal amount of people, because this message is way too fucking raw. Most people can't handle this shit. But you really look at it as like, this is what I believe. This is what I have experienced in my healing journey. And so the people that get repelled by this, what are they bringing to the table that shows you that they have actually had true transformation, true deliverance of emotional and traumatic fucking wounds from their childhood, healing and growth and expansion and abundance, right? It's like, you got to know, like, are you going to go to a therapist that ain't ever even really had some hardships, right? You're going to get financial advice, right, from someone that's gotten, 10 bankruptcies and is in debt up to their fucking eyeballs? That's who you're going to use for your fucking, for your financial advisor, right? You're going to have a plumber come and fix your leaks, right? Leaky faucets that hasn't ever plumbed before. No, you want people that actually have been through the fires of life. And it takes a fucking shit ton of courage for someone like me. I could easily just continue living my private life. And I would be, I don't want to say better off, but it's just one less thing I would be having to worry about. And that means that I could put that much more focus onto something else. But I truly believe that this message is reaching people, right? As hard as it is, man, it's a hard motherfucking pill to swallow. Trust me, I know. It's a lot bigger than them horse pills that those Motrin 800s. It's a lot harder than that, man. Because this is some major, major vulnerability from a real motherfucker saying, look, I've been through it. I've been through some really tough shit. And I know what it is to fucking overcome that and transcend my prior self, right? A man that used to carry around a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of remorse, and make what? A lot of motherfucking excuses, right? I was just like 5-6 years ago. Now it's probably more than that. I was in my mid-30s feeling like life was over, man. I was like, I had reached the pinnacle, had lost it all, settling back into a job that, it was working for it was kind of saying I'm going to be a company type man, a company man. And it wasn't my truth. But yet I was getting to a place emotionally, mentally, and spiritually that I was willing to settle for that. And it was very interesting that it didn't align with me, and it didn't sit with me well. And so there is something to be said that when I put myself in a situation that I know wasn't for me, yeah, the universe actually did fucking boop. And you could say God did it, right? Kind of kicked me out of there, right? But he could have kicked me out and I could have sat there in depression and just like stayed fucking curled up in bed all day. I could have went back to drinking. I could have went back to getting high all day. I could have went back to just eating like shit and letting it go. But instead, I used that as a jump point to say, you know what? I see that I'm being given a new lease on life, another opportunity, right? To truly build the life that leads me to my highest potential, right? Not this, like, this is okay. This will work, right? This will work. I got some PTO. I got some paid time off. I got some sick leave, right? I got some health benefits. I got a salary. This is good enough, right? I get time off. That's cool. It wasn't though. That wasn't my truth. And you got to know what your truth is, right? I'm not telling everybody just get up and quit their fucking government job, corporate job, bullshit job, but a lot of people are. A lot of people are realizing that, the pandemic woke a lot of people up, that there was life outside of a cubicle, right? And it's amazing because I spent a lot of time traveling through the pandemic, right? Lockdowns or whatever the fuck. I have a cabin on wheels, so quarantine in the fucking cabin on wheels, the overland rig. Yeah, I quarantined in the overland rig all over the country, and it was great because there wasn't a lot of people out there. Everybody was scared at home, but there was a community of people that were sick and tired of corporate life, sick and tired of dying in a cubicle. And they're like, you know what? We're going to do some bucket list shit. We're going to go travel the world. We're going to visit the national parks. We're going to go and be wild and free for a little while. And I was a part of that. And I still am. And I'm grateful, right, that I get to write my life story. And I do it each and every day with journaling. And I try and encourage you guys to do the same, to really take control of your life. But in order to take control of your life, you got to do what? You got to take ownership. You got to take accountability, right? You got to be able to see that in what ways are you playing the victim card, right? Are you truly holding yourself back with limiting beliefs and waiting for someone else or something else, right? Or just settling, saying, well, this is God's will in my life. No, God does not impose his will on your life. Like, you can do whatever you want. And he desires for you to do the best, right? And that's where you have to have that real talk inside yourself with your creator to say, what do I need to do that I know I could do, but I'm resisting doing it right now? What's the one thing that I need to change, right? That I know will make an impact in my life, that I know will change some of the things in my life for the better. And we often don't like that answer, right? I was pretty vulnerable, like New Mexico, I don't know when it kicked in. It was maybe over the summer, it went legal with the weed, right? Like a lot of states. It's like the whole state went up in smoke. I got caught up in some of that shit. And I knew it wasn't doing me good. I know it wasn't. It was like I was just kind of checking out, right? And this is very vulnerable, right? I kept asking. I asked myself this: what do I need to change? What do I need to change? And that shit kept coming up, right? The weed. You need to stop smoking weed. You need to stop eating them little edibles. And so, yeah, I've been cleansed of that, and I'm grateful for it, right? There's some other areas that I'm still continuing to work on, right? Organizing more of my space in my life. Jordan Peterson talks about it a lot, that if you look around at your physical environment, mainly your bedroom, right? Your living areas, that they're a reflection of your emotional environment, your mental environment. So if you live in a pigsty, right? There's some shit that you need to work through, right? But you live in a pigsty and you got perfect attendance at church. Like, how does that line up, right? Only you know. Only you can justify how that's okay. But I do know that I'm here to challenge you motherfuckers. And I know that shit hurts, because who the fuck wants to get challenged? You're an adult. I'm an adult, right? No one's going to tell me what to do. You're right. I'm not telling you what you have to do. I'm just encouraging you, saying you could do a lot of things that would improve your life in 23. You could see drastic changes in your life. It would be best if you started now, right? As opposed to just smashing the fucking calories and sitting on your ass for the football and the football and the football and the Christmas and the New Year's. But that's your life. I'm living my best life, right? This week I got self-care. Talk about self-care. And I hadn't had a massage in probably a little over a month. I think my birthday was the last time I had a really good massage. It is the best massage of my life, man. And I'm not talking about the happy fucking ending bullshit. I'm talking about real body workers, energy workers working, and just, oh man, so good. So I had one on Monday, and I also did the cupping. I don't know if any of you guys do the cupping, but I had the cupping done, and that shit's like pretty wild, right? You could probably see it there, man. I got the cupping done. The cupping gets done. And everybody thinks that that's painful, but oh man, it's like, if you're feeling stressed, like, the cupping is really interesting, where it's not painful. I always explain it as it's uncomfortable. There's like an uncomfortability about it, but it's not on a scale of pain, right? Like, you could pinch your arm out. Like, I just pinched myself. You could pinch yourself and there's pain. It creates that little reaction. Ow! I just pinched myself kind of hard. The cupping doesn't feel like that. There's no ow. There's no like, ooh, I gotta be tough. No, it's not that. It's just it's an uncomfortable. It creates a tension, like a vacuum. And there's not pain to it. It just creates like a level of uncomfortability. What's really cool is that they put these cups all over and they're creating this tension. And then as it's drawing the blood to the surface of the skin, when they release it, there's a release of that tension. So if you're feeling kind of stressed, bottled up, it releases tension, not just at the surface level, but in a deeper level. And what's really cool is you think about healing, right? We've been given these miraculous bodies that you get a cut, like you don't have to sit around. If you cut your hand or your finger, you don't have to sit around for like hours a day during the healing process and be like, I really need to spend some time thinking about healing my finger. Like I need to sit here and I need to think about it healing so it can heal. We don't even have to do that. It's like a thoughtless process. It happens. So what's cool is with the cupping, what I think the reason why it works is that our body, our skin has a mind of its own. So when we pull all this blood to the surface, and it looks horrid, it looks actually really morbid almost, because you're like, whoa, I got like these fucking circles all over my body and they're really dark and red and bruised. They're not tender, they're not painful. I can't explain it. Other than that, it's not what it looks like. Looks can be deceiving, folks. I mean, how many of y'all are getting deceived by just all kinds of media and propaganda? Gosh, it's crazy what you all will believe in 22 still, thinking it's real. But the cupping, it brings the blood to the surface. And then what's really cool is I think your body doesn't freak out, but it notices, whoa, there's been this disruption in all this blood. And what's cool about it is I think on the healing subconscious level, right, the circulatory system says we have to supercharge, right, the amount of circulation going through the system in order to filter through and redistribute the blood, because it doesn't even scab up, guys. It's not like a scab, right? It's really interesting. It filters back in the system, and so I think it increases your flow and your circulation for about a week, and it's a powerful thing. So again, self-care is one of those things that I continue to subscribe to. I had a massage. I'm gonna get in that cold water. I'm gonna get in that hot water, and I'm gonna put in that work over the weekend. I'm working on this right here. Results kill excuses. That shit's about to launch. I'm gonna do a journal for those of you that actually give a shit. And it's gonna be a cool journal. It's not gonna be like a whole year. It's gonna be probably a 4 to 6 week journal at a time. It's gonna have a lot of the shit that is an opportunity for you to reflect, right? It's gonna guide you through writing some shit down on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and really writing down and reflecting on the past, projecting and setting intention on your future, setting goals for yourself, right? Following up with the goals, making sure that you're actually holding yourself accountable, because no one else could do it for you, guys. No one else, right? You know what it takes to break through, and most of us aren't willing to pay the price of admission for your breakthrough in this life, for you to get to that next level, for you to become the best version of yourself. If you think that I'm too heavy-handed, the voice is too loud, you know who's someone I really respect? I haven't listened to him in a while, but he's like a man of faith, so he comes with a lot more of a gentleness, but he still drops some F-bombs every once in a while. But definitely not with my ferocity, is Ed Milet, right? If you're looking for someone to inspire you, right, to make you quit with them fucking excuses, look up Ed Milet. Start listening to some of his sit-down chats, right? Especially if you're one of these faithful, got soft ears and a real tender heart. You can't really handle the real shit. He's pretty mild in terms of delivering content that's like, hey, man, quit making excuses. You got to push past it. You got to believe in yourself, right? And his philosophy is one more, right? One more rep in the gym, right? One more phone call to your success, right? So his is always one more. Mine is results kill excuses. And I'm going to continue to sing that song. And I'm going to continue to get on here to inspire you motherfuckers, right? To live your best life, to challenge yourself, to expand and to grow, right? To your highest potential, right? Because I promise you this. Talk to someone that's elderly today or during the holidays, talk to some of those elders. Ask them what their regrets are in life, right? I genuinely, you know, a lot of us, we don't really know what to talk about other than bullshit at the family gatherings. You want to get real with some people in your life, people you care about, people you say you care about, but only see them once for the holidays. Why don't you sit down and ask them, right? What's their biggest regrets in life, right? What's the things that mattered the most to them, right? If they could go back and do something again, what would that be? And really engage with that conversation. It's very enlightening. And it's something I do on a regular basis, whether I see, you know, older folks in the gym, on the streets, in the hot springs, wherever. You know, I like taking some time to talk to people, right? To be inspired by their stories. And the thing they say the most is regret. Regret, right? They wish they would have done things, right? They wish they would have overcome their limiting beliefs and the fear, right? Because it's not the things we do, right? The regrets, right? Even much as that shit sucks, it's the things we didn't do. It's the dreams that we had that we were too afraid, right? To finish the starting line, to try and to believe in ourselves, to believe in our potential, to believe in the vision that we have for ourselves. But unfortunately, our mindset and our self-worth has been tarnished, right, by our environment, the environment we grew up in. Someone else's fears, someone else's limiting beliefs, right, got projected onto us as children, right? And we took them as, you know, well, so-and-so, this is all they said. We don't even think about it. It's something we just carry around with us. And it's one of the greatest tragedies of life. Most of us won't even stop, right, to truly analyze what are our beliefs and where the fuck did they come from. Because as I've sat down and I've written down the shit that I believe or I thought I believed, and I talked about it earlier, if you haven't watched the whole show, all the different areas of your life, from love to happiness to success to money, to really writing this shit down. What is your relationship with money? What do you think about money, right? Wealth, failure. There's so many topics that are beliefs that truly, they do control, right, the way that we conduct ourselves in this world at large. And what I've realized is that many of the beliefs that I carried around are not shit I believe. Many of those things were handed off to me, right, through a caregiver, through tradition, through family. And it's a tough thing to wake up and feel that you're not tied down to that, right? You're not obligated to perpetuate and carry on a legacy of poverty mindset, of a loser's way of thinking, that you can elevate your life, you can elevate your standards, you can elevate your beliefs. And the sooner you do that, right, the happier, more joyful, more abundant, right, you will start to feel. And it starts with going inwards, right? And it starts with killing the motherfucking excuses. Because you know the drill. Results kill excuses. It's all on me.